Sorry, I'm sorry. Something that lead singer in Ultravox, Midge, is all too aware of.
Here he is, taking us back to the streets where his dreams began.
I'm so sorry.
Vienna. My name will always be tied to that city. But my real name, James Ure, was tied to somewhere else. Glasgow, or Cambuslang to be precise.
Right on this spot is where my flat would have been. And if you just look over here, these red stone buildings, that's a kind of posh version of the place that I was born.
I shared a bedroom with my brother and sister whilst our parents slept in the sitting room. My dad was a van driver and Mum kept us on our toes. The tenements may have looked grim, but we were a community.
I lived round the corner from my gran and my two aunts. And as you were out playing, she would be hanging out the window on the top floor of this tenement block. And she'd make you up a piece and jam, which is just a jam sandwich, stick it inside a paper bag, tie it all up, wrap the ends of it, and then throw it out the window.
And I've still got the knack. I was growing up at a time when the old Glasgow was being replaced by a new modern version. My family were caught up in that change when we were moved to here, Buckingham Drive. To us, it was a palace.
Not only did we have our own rooms, I shared a room with my brother, but my sister had her own room. That was amazing. If you happened to be walking past, you would undoubtedly have heard music coming out the bedroom, my brother and I pumping out some heavy rock or whatever. Music was big, big, big news here.
It's getting near dawn.
But making a living from music? My parents didn't see that one coming.
It was important to them that we moved up a rung of the ladder further on than they ever had. But you know, I dreamed of doing exactly what I do. In fact, when I come back here, I'll come round here to remind me of what I was wishing for in this very spot.
This school is where I first became a musician. Back then it was called Rutherglen Academy, a grammar school no less.
I never felt comfortable in places like this, in halls like this. I didn't quite fit. Academia had no interest for me whatsoever.
So I immersed myself in music, learning the guitar in the school folk club.
So this is the very guitar that I got when I was 10 years old. It cost my parents half my dad's wages, which was £3. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long.
But I had no worries. I was soon playing in local groups, earning a few quid performing at dances. By the age of 18, I was in my first proper band.
This place here was the Electric Garden. I remember playing here with Salvation.
And this is Billy McKaiser, the keyboard player. This is the first time we've met in a long time.
Notice the hairstyles.
Notice the hair.
Notice the players. Yeah, exactly.
My Spaniard's hat, my little Spanish hat.
And many, many dodgy outfits.
It was quite a scary thing performing in those days, because the girls would all stand up the front of the stage here and look at you adoringly, while the boys or the boyfriends stood behind them going,
not so adoringly.
We had the look, we had the songs, but there was one problem.
Jim said, your name, you're Jim, you're Jim Ure. I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm Jim McGinley. He said, we can't have two Jims. And as it's my band and I'm older, you are now Midge. And I went, what? He said, yeah, it's Jim backwards.
So I became Midge, and Salvation became one of the biggest gigging bands in Scotland at the time.
I remember going up to Inverness and travelling back in the middle of the night.
Because we couldn't afford to stay over.
No, no, you get back 5, 6 in the morning. So we did that for a good few years, 3 or 4 years. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 things really took off.
4 years later, Salvation changed their name to Slick, and we were at #1 with Forever and Ever. And in 1979, I became lead singer with Ultravox, who would take me to many places, including Vienna. But I would be nothing without Glasgow.
There he is. Come on, Glasgow.
They're always nice films, they are. Thank you to Midge as well. Now, it's hard to believe